I'm the tax pro, and today we're going to talk about sales settings within QuickBooks Online. So to navigate to the settings for sales, we're going to go up to this gear icon in the upper right hand corner. We're going to go to accounts and settings. This takes you to your basic settings page. Over to the left hand side, you'll see that there's all these different options. We're going to select sales. So I'm going to briefly run through what these options are, and then in other videos I'm going to cover these options in more depth. I'm just going to kind of show you what is possible here. So the first area that we're going to come to is sales form content. So I'm going to click on the edit because it gives us a little bit more information. So preferred invoice terms. This is going to be the default due date for your invoices. Okay. You can always change this on an invoice by invoice basis. So this is what it's going to default to, but you can always modify it. So even if you have net 30 on here, you could mark one as like due on receipt. Let me explain what these mean though. Due on receipt means that the invoice is due at the time of being issued. Net 15 means that it's due 15 days after the invoice date. Net 30 means it's due 30 days after that invoice date. And then net 60 means it's due 60 days after that invoice date. You can also create a custom due date. So you could have it due in a fixed number of days. So instead of having 15, maybe you want to do 20 days for some reason. You could have it due by the certain day of the month. So you could say, okay, well, every invoice is due on the 5th of the month. You could have it due the next month if issued within so many days of the due date. So let's say, we're going to have it due by the 5th day of the month. But if it's issued, on the 1st of the month, then maybe we want it to be due on the 5th of the next month, that kind of thing. So that allows you to change those. I'm just going to put a default for due on receipt. Preferred delivery method. This is just kind of if you want to decide that you're going to, always deliver, like send later or something along those lines. So you could print later or send later. I have none on here. Shipping. If you want to add shipping details to the invoice, you can go ahead and select that option here. So this allows you to turn on fields where you can add date, shipping tracking number, the destination, the subtotal, etc. So you can turn that on there. You can also put some custom fields within your invoices. Custom transaction number, so you can view and change your transaction number here. You can put a service date in, so if your invoice date is different from the date that you actually provided the service, you can have a field where you can indicate when the actual service was provided so that the customer knows. For example, maybe you run a company that provides maintenance for other companies or something along those lines, and you want to mark, this invoice is for the visit that we did a week and a half ago. So this invoice is for the trip on the 10th, and today we're getting the invoice out, and it happens to be, the 18th or something along those lines. Discount, if you want to put a discount field in, that turning this on allows you to do that. If you take deposits for customers, you can go in and have a deposit field on the invoice. So let's say that, you're going to go out and do a $1,000 job, but you require that they pay you $200. You still want to issue that invoice for $1,000 so that they can see that they've paid you $1,000, but you want to be able to apply that $200 deposit to your invoice. What'll happen is that invoice will show $1,000. It'll show a deposit of $200. It'll show that they owe you $800. So turning that on allows you to have deposits there. You can accept tips on your invoice by turning on this little option. And then you can also tag your invoices. Tags are a little bit weird. I'll go over them in another video. You might not want to turn that on. So those are sales form settings that we can change. Now the next things that you're going to see are going to be for invoice payments and financing. Invoice payments, this is a way that you can collect payments through QuickBooks Online. So this is not on because this isn't a real company. So because this isn't a real company, we don't have a payment account associated. But QuickBooks Online Payments is an online payment processing system that you can utilize, and you can turn it on through your QuickBooks Online account. You don't have to have a QuickBooks Online account, though, to get QuickBooks payments. Financing is new, so you can turn on customer financing. I'm going to skip to products and services just because those items look at like actually collecting funds. And I'll let you guys decide if you want to go through into it for that. So when we have products and services, so this is going to allow you to show products and service columns on sales forms. This is on. Sometimes you might not want to have a product or service column. I generally think that this is a good idea, but sometimes some people don't want to have products or services on there. They just want to send an invoice. Show a SKU column. So a SKU is an identification number. It's going to pop up kind of a weird. So this right here is a stock keeping unit, which is the SKU or SKU. You essentially assign a SKU for each product to identify that particular product. You don't have to have a SKU on unless it's like required in your industry or your customers require it. Turn on price rules. Price rules is like a way to dynamically price things. So you can modify the way that you're pricing something based on specific factors. Track quantity and price or rate. So this allows you to track this information for products and services, but then this also, you can also turn on tracking inventory quantity on hand. It's going to pop up this little thing again. So if you're going to have inventory tracking on, then just make sure that you understand how inventory in QuickBooks Online works, because it can get a little wonky. But this essentially says if you have a product, so if you've labeled that item as a product, it's going to take that particular quantity of that product out of your inventory. Late fees. So you can decide to like default charge late fees on your invoices if somebody has not paid you on time. You can turn this on, and then you can also customize settings for individual customers so that certain customers are not necessarily automatically having late fees applied. If you turn on late fees, make sure you understand the legal requirements in your state for what late fees you can actually charge, okay? Certain states have regulations on what type of late fees and the quantity, how that's calculated, that kind of thing. So be careful turning late fees on by default. Make sure you understand the regulations in your state. Progress invoicing. This allows you to take a single estimate and essentially invoice for portions of that estimate. So if you are going to send an estimate, like a bulk estimate for a whole entire job, but then that job is kind of done in phases and you want to invoice after certain phases, progress invoicing allows you to do that. This right here allows you to edit the default email messages sent with sales forms. So right here, you can see that we can edit the messages sent with invoices, estimates, credit memos, sales receipts, statements, and refund receipts. This is really, really nice setting to adjust, because if you can get this down, it's really nice to just be able to not have to edit those particular messages. Now, when you go to send the form, you can modify that message to that particular client if you want to. This is just by default what's going to pop up. So if you can get this to look really nice, it makes things a lot easier to kind of, it's more efficient because you can just quickly send things out without having to edit the majority of the emails going out. Reminders. So you can turn on automatic reminders if the client has not paid. So this allows you to, send reminders either, you could do a couple days beforehand, before the due date. You could do on the due date. You could do after the due date. It just kind of creates an automatic follow-up so that you're not having to constantly manually follow up with clients. Again, a really nice feature as long as you're making sure that you're applying payments that you receive right away, because you don't want to send a reminder to a customer when they paid you like a week ago. They might not appreciate that. So reminders are great as long as you're consistently making sure that you're applying payments right away. Online delivery. So one of the things that I really love about QuickBooks is you can email your invoices, and it's super convenient, right? It lands in their inbox. If you have QuickBooks payments on, they can pay it right there. So this allows you to change what that email is going to look like. So do you want to attach a PDF of the invoice? Do you want to show a short summary or the full details in the email? And then, do you want to do an online invoice, HTML, or plain text? Statements. This is the last setting on this page. So statements, you can choose to have them list each transaction as a single line, or list each transaction including all detail lines. So that is it for the settings for sales in QuickBooks Online. I hope that was helpful. I would appreciate it if you gave us a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.